Senior advisor to President Trump, Jason Miller, and former law clerk to Justice Neil Gorsuch, Mike Davis, join us now. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Mike, I want to start with you legally. Does this hold any water?
No, it's a complete joke, and it shows that Garland's handpicked special counsel Jack Schmitt is on a fishing expedition. It is only illegal to object to presidential elections in third world Marxist hellholes. And it is specifically you're specifically allowed to object to presidential elections under the Electoral Count of 1887 and the First Amendment. You can raise funds to do this, and this is very far afield from what Garland appointed him to do to look after. They're going after wire fraud. This is a complete joke.
Jason, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Mike is spot on there. And in fact, it's not just Mike or even myself. Recent ABC polling said that a plurality of American voters think the justice system has been weaponized. In fact, a clear majority of voters now think that politics had something to do with all of these witch hunts that are going on after President Trump. And I love the line that the president uses when he says, they're not coming after me, they're coming after you. I'm just standing in their way.
It's well said. Mike, former President Trump deposed today for a second time in New York by Tish James. Trump actually answered questions this time, we understand. Big difference from the last deposition in August. He didn't answer any at all, although he did have a message for Tish James herself. James is suing the Trump family and the organization for $250 million, wants to ban the Trumps from ever doing business in New York, all because he allegedly inflated his assets to get loans, which he paid back with interest to banks that were free to do their own appraisal of his assets. I mean, you look through these cases one by one, it's just ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous.
This is Democrat lawfare by these Democrat prosecutors, whether it's Tish James looking at the non-fraud of fully paying back banks. That's only a fraud in Tish James's head. You have the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg. There's George Soros funded Manhattan DA going after Trump for settling a nuisance claim with a stripper. That's a great case. We also have this Fulton County DA, Fannie Willis, another Democrat politician, again, going after Trump for objecting to a presidential election. We talked about that. Jack Schmitt is also looking at that, and Garland's Jack Schmitt is also looking at President Trump as a former president having presidential records in the office of former president, which is allowed by the Presidential Records Act. This is all a Democrat witch hunt to get Trump.
And Jason, back to the Tish James case. I mean, I can't imagine there's any developer in the world that wouldn't want to make their property look as appealing as possible, what they're going to borrow against as appealing as possible to get the loan that they need, again, from a bank that's free to do its own due diligence before lending you that money, which, of course, Trump paid back with interest.
Well, I didn't realize that Letitia James was a real estate expert. That would be a new thing from
She's
her
not.
resume. And if you go back to her campaign ads and what she said on the campaign trail, she literally campaigned for office saying she's going to get Trump. That's kind of sick and twisted. I want to pick up on something that Mike said, talking about the Soros prosecutors. And President Trump put out a plan today talking about trying to get rid of the Soros prosecutors and the Soros-like prosecutors that are in our U.S. attorneys. George Soros spent $40 million electing district attorneys all over the country last year. It wasn't just the big cities, the New York, Chicago's, Los Angeles. Think Contra Costa County in California. Think Fairfax and Loudoun counties in Virginia. Yeah. We were asleep at the switch in 2022 when Soros was spending his money. And now you see what's happening, whether it be with Alvin Bragg or Letitia James or these rogue prosecutors all around the country.
Yeah, Mike, I'll give the final thought to you.
Yeah, I mean, this is dangerous what the Democrats are doing. They are weaponizing our justice system to take out their political enemies. The only way we're going to stop this is if people rally behind President Trump and these Republican DAs, Republican attorneys general, Republican prosecutors give Democrats a healthy dose of their own medicine. Get creative and start prosecuting.
Gentlemen, good stuff. Thank you so much.